Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. The weight of 3 packages are 4 pounds, 10 ounces, 6 pounds, 13 ounces, and 3 pounds, 6 ounces. Find the average weight of these packages. So to me, it would be, you have to break those down into decimals, add them up, and then divide by 3.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be 4.1, 6.13, 3.6, or no?
You said it's 4 point what?
4.1?
No.
No.
How many ounces in a pound?
16.
So you have to change that to a fraction. So you have, and I'll convert the first one. You have 4 pounds, 10 ounces.
Over 16.
And so this would be 4 and 10 sixteenths. What was the next number?
6 pounds and 13 ounces.
And what would the next one be?
3 pounds and 6 ounces.
So convert that to a fraction for me.
Sorry. Never mind. Right? So then you add them up.
Like that, right? Do you notice that I'm putting
Right.
them all over 16? Maybe you just didn't get the 1 written there.
I did, yeah. And so you add them up, and obviously we're going over 16, so it adds up to, so you've got 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 13 ounces.
So, okay, show me what you're doing so I can follow what you're doing.
So if you add the fractions together,
Okay.
it's 23 and 29 over 16. So there's obviously 1. So there'd be 1 and 13 over 16.
Okay. So, and then I just have the whole number parts too, right? So I got the 4, I got
Right.
the
So that's
6.
10, 13, 14. So it's 14 and 13 over 16.
And then I have to divide that by what?
Oh, by 3.
Mm-hmm. So the easiest way to, this is 16. The easiest way to do that would be to change this into a improper fraction. Do you remember how to do that?
You multiply 16 by 14 plus 13.
Uh-huh. So do that for me.
So 14 times 16 is 224 plus 13 is 237.
And that's over?
Over 16.
And then if I'm going to divide by 3, that's another one of our fraction maths, what do I actually multiply by?
3 over 1.
So you're saying that's what I have, so what am I going to multiply by? What do I have to do to that fraction?
Do you flip it?
Yep. So we get 23, 7, 16 times 1/3. Does 3 go into 237? I believe it does.
230. Oh God, I keep hitting the wrong button. 237 divided by 3 is 79.
Okay, so that goes away. This becomes a 1, and that becomes 79, right? and now I have 79 over 16, and now I can just convert it back.
So you have to see how many times does 16 go into 79, which is 3.
It doesn't go at least 4 times?
79 divided by 16?
Yeah.
It's, oh, yeah, 4.9
Okay, so it's 4 times 16 is what?
is 64.
And so now I got to subtract 64 from 79 because I have to write that as a mixed number because that's what all the answers are. None of them were decimals, right?
So, one more time, where are we? Okay, I had to move the page, sorry.
Sorry.
74 over 1, 79 over 1, and then 4 over 16.
Okay, so
No.
this is what I'm going to do. I'm writing it over to the right so you have enough space so you can see, or the left so you can see it. So I got 79 over 16, and I got to write that as a mixed number. 16 goes into 79 4 times, right? And now I need to find my remainder. So I'm going to do 64 minus 79, or 79
Which is
minus,
negative
which is how much?
15.
15.
Gotcha. And that is the answer. Okay. Do you want me to do number 7 now?
Yep.
If Barbara drove for 4 hours at 50 miles per hour and then for 2 hours at 60 miles per hour, what was the average rate in miles per hour for the entire trip? So when I look at that, am I disregarding the amount of hours and just looking at
No.
miles? Okay.
No. When you're doing a rate times time question, like an average rate, you need to find the total number of. Okay, so I'll write it up.
So you're basically multiplying 50 times 4 and 60 times 2?
So you can find the total number of miles, and then you divide by the total number of time.
So 200 plus 120 is 320 miles. And you divide that by 2, right?
No. You divide it by the total number of time. How many hours did she drive in total?
6.
So it's not an average question the way you think of like averages, like taking the two numbers and dividing them by 2. It's the total amount of distance over the total time. And I don't know if you can understand my chicken scratch. Maybe I can write that a little better. Total time. And so you can just stick that in your calculator and tell me what you get.
So 320 divided by 6 is 53.33.
Do you know what 0.33 is as a fraction?
Like 33% or whatever.
So that's 1/3, right?
Okay. So in the option, okay, so 53 and at 1/3, got it.
There are a couple of fractions, and you're a financial person, so that actually shouldn't be too hard for you. Like if you know 1/8, 1/6, 1/5, 1/4, 1/3, 1/2, then it might be easier for you to convert from a decimal to the other thing and not think about it too hard. And you probably know most of those already.
Okay. So number 8, Mr. Marin employs 3 secretaries at a salary of $140 per week and 5 salespeople at a salary of $300 per week. What is the average weekly salary paid to an employee?
This is a weighted average question.
So you add 3 times 140. So it's 420. And then you take 5 times 300, which is 1,500. So when you add those together, it's 1920 divided by 8.
Good.
Which is whatever the number is. 1920 divided by 8 is 240.
That's the only that
So
really
that's
makes
the
sense.
average salary paid weekly.
Good.
Good. Which of the following? Oh, go ahead.
I think we can skip number 9 because I don't think you're going to see questions that are Roman numeral questions on the placement test.
Okay.
So we can skip.
So number 10, Mark has an average of 88 on his first 4 math tests. What grade must he earn on his 5th test in order to raise his average to 90? So I'm going to make my little sheet here. I'm going to try to write this out, but God help me if it doesn't work. So, because I am really bad at this thing.
I just want to say this to you. It takes about 30 or 40 minutes with writing with it to get used to it. And then once you get used to it, it's not that hard. Because we're normally used to like looking at where we're writing when we're writing stuff instead of just looking at a screen and writing. So it's a little disorienting.
Gotcha. So it says he has an average of 88 on the first 4 tests, which means the average is 88. So 88 equals the sum over 5. Right?
No. This is one of those questions where I said you have to separate the 2 out or you won't get the right answer.
Okay.
So when they're saying to you that the average on the first 4 tests was some number, they're actually giving you a sum, believe it or not. Because they gave you 2 average numbers there, right?
Mark has an average of 88 on the first 4 tests. What grade must he earn on his 5th in order to raise his average to 90?
You see how they give you 2 average numbers there?
Yes.
So we're going to use the first average number to figure out what the sum would be. So if the average is 88 on the first 4 tests, what would the sum, and how many total points did he actually score so far in the class?
I mean, it would have to be x over 4, right?
X over 4 equals what?
You would multiply 4 times 88.
Right. Do you see why I've been writing the average questions the way that I've been writing them?
Yeah. And so he's been getting 88 times 4 is 352.
Okay, now you're going to use that number for the sum in the second part of the question.
So then that would be, it's the sum plus x. So he wants, so he wants 90 to equal 352 plus that 5th test over 5.
Right.
So then you multiply this and then subtract this.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So 450 minus 352 would then be I'm making this way too, 98.
98.
So he needs a 98 to get an average of 90.
Right.
Okay. It's much easier now. Makes more sense.
So be wary when they give you two numbers that are the average, because that's how you actually set the question up. The first number is going to give you a sum, and the second number you'll actually find whatever you're looking for.
Okay.
And I think that if you think about it this way, it'll make those questions easier because it's already set up. You don't have to do any math.
Right. Yeah, I really like that system.
And this is nice because if you can identify the three parts, you'll always get the answer too.
Good.
I have another appointment at 12.
Okay.
But what I want you to do is, for your homework, I actually want you to do you need to practice probably all of the different sections in there.
Okay.
And then I gave you the answers, and I also gave you the answers to the diagnostic test at the end. So if you could do that this week sometime and just spread it over, it actually only takes about an hour to do.
Okay.
All of the stuff. Then I want to review everything that we did so far, and then next week you'll have to take another test for me, another entrance exam for me, like on your own time, just to see that you understand everything. Because after that, we'll actually be moving into the algebra, geometry part of it.
Okay.
Which I think we're basically on track.
With that, okay, so my playlist is on here. I just looked at your webpage. Okay, so I can go back to that too.
Yeah. And I'm gonna put up the videos, if not today, Sunday before I leave for Florida.
Okay. Yeah, no rush.
Of course not. Do you have any questions about anything we did today?
No. It's good to go through. Thank you for your time. And whenever you get back, is that when we can then schedule the next one?
I'm planning on seeing you on Wednesday morning.
Okay.
I'll have internet where I'm going, and I actually won't be in Florida until Thursday. So if we could still meet Wednesday at our regular time, that would be perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
If you want to meet a little earlier, just call me or text me if you're up. If not, then I'll just see you at 8:30.
Sounds good.
On Wednesday. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, John. I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye now.
Bye.